Hello, and welcome to Lost Love Chronicles. Dear subscribers, thank you for helping us cross the first 2,000 subscribers. This could have never been done without your support. Thank you, and for the ones who have not yet subscribed, please subscribe and help us get to the next milestone. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon for notifications for our latest stories. Share a like if you like this story. Also, please share your thoughts on this story. Let's start with the story. I caught my wife cheating, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. Let me share some background with you. We've been married for 8 years. And every year, we have this tradition of visiting an amazing resort about an hour away from our home. We create beautiful memories there and always look forward to our time together. Yesterday, things took an unexpected turn. My wife was about to hop in the shower when she realized she left her phone in her car. She asked me to grab it for her, and as I opened the passenger door, I noticed a pack of matches from the resort lying between the seat and the door. Initially, I didn't think much of it, considering we always drive her car there. I pocketed the matches, not realizing the impact they would have on my day. Coincidentally, my buddy, Bob, and I had planned to have lunch that day. He's a fishing buddy passing through the area close to the resort. So we decided to meet up there. I handed my wife her phone and casually mentioned our lunch plans. When she asked where we'd be eating, I told her about the resort. I noticed a momentary tenseness, but I brushed it off. After a goodbye kiss, I went on my way. Bob and I had a fantastic lunch at the resort, reminiscing about past fishing trips and discussing plans for our next one. As we were leaving, Bob grabbed some complimentary match from the counter, and we lit up cigarettes outside. It was then that we noticed an advertisement on the matchboxes for a great fishing spot with cabin rentals. We thought it would be a fantastic place to visit, and we agreed to do some research soon. Bob headed down the road, and I realized I hadn't grabbed any matches for myself. Wanting a few packs, I went back inside the resort before heading home. As I grabbed the matches, I mentioned to the desk clerk how much I love the design. To my surprise, he informed me that they had just received those matches 3 days ago. Puzzled, I told him I had a pack in my pocket that I got 6 months ago. He assured me that the design was brand new and had only come in 3 days prior. My eyes then glanced down at the registry book on the counter, and I noticed the check-in under the names John and Zed Braden. My wife's name is Zed. I pointed it out, saying that's an odd name, Zed. The clerk agreed, mentioning that John and Zed visit the resort about once a month, check in at noon, and leave by 8 p.m. My wheels were spinning. First, the matches, then the girl's day out, where she left around 11 a.m. and got back home around 9 p.m. And now a woman with the same name on the resort registry. I couldn't shake the feeling that this was no coincidence. I kept my cool, making small talk with the clerk before leaving the resort. The entire drive home, my mind raced. I couldn't believe what I had just discovered. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. My wife, my loving Zed, had been cheating on me. Not just once, but apparently every month for who knows how long. Anger and betrayal boiled inside me, but I knew I couldn't just confront her. I needed a plan. I needed revenge. The pain was too much, so why shouldn't she hurt as well? During the next hour as I drove home, I started plotting. I knew that next month, Zed would be going on her girl's day out again, but this time, I'd be ready. I would make sure she got a surprise she'd never forget. That, my friends, is when I crafted my perfect plan to serve her divorce papers during her next little escapade. As soon as I got home, the anger and determination pushed me to start digging into John's background. After some online searching, I discovered that he had a wife named Julia. I tracked Julia down on Facebook and sent her a message explaining that I had information about her husband that she'd want to know. I left my phone number, and she called me the same day. Our conversation was lengthy, and I shared my plan to serve divorce papers to Zed. Initially, Julia was furious and wanted to act immediately, but I managed to calm her down. I convinced Juliet that seeking revenge would provide her with a sense of empowerment and make the divorce process smoother. She could walk away with pride, not letting John off the hook easily. Julia asked about the attorney I was using to draft my papers, and since she didn't know anyone personally, she suggested using the same one. I mentioned my friend who happened to be an attorney, and we both contacted him. It turned out to be a great decision. The plan was set. We would show up at the resort around dinner time during the next month's rendezvous where John and Z were set to meet. We staged my attorney friend as a photographer capturing pictures of happy people at the resort. Following behind him, I wore a long hair wig and a ball cap to hide my face, equipped with a video camera. The only concern was that the staff might try to stop us if they realized we weren't supposed to be there, but we weren't too worried. We just needed enough time to drop the bomb at their table. When we arrived at their table to take their picture and video, that's when I yanked off the hat and the wig, revealing my face from behind the camera. Zed's face turned as white as a ghost, and she looked at me in total disbelief. I knew I had surprised her thoroughly. Despite her usual, quick and witty nature, at that moment, she was utterly speechless. After discovering the infidelity, I decided to take matters into my own hands. The attorney served Zed with divorce papers on the spot, and I started pressuring her to sign them immediately. I made it clear that she would only walk away with her personal belongings and her car. Threatening to expose the video to everyone we knew, including her parents, I intensified the pressure. She resisted initially, so I turned to John and revealed that I knew about Julia. I told Z that if she didn't sign, I'd still the affair to Julia. To my surprise, John started pressuring Zed to sign as well. As the tension mounted, Z looked at John with shock and disgust the same way she had been looking at me. I had hoped he would have her back, but it seemed like he was more concerned about his own situation. Feeling hopeless and trapped, Zed eventually signed the papers, effectively surrendering almost everything to me, except her car and personal belongings. Feinting his sense of resolution, I pretended to turn and walk away, papers in hand. That's when we dropped the bomb on them. I revealed my intention to show the incriminating video anyway, and Julia, who had been discreetly waiting, emerged. The attorney served John with divorce papers too. Round 2 had begun. John refused to sign the papers, and to add a twist to the drama, Z freaked out on him right there in the restaurant. She was furious that he wouldn't sign after pressuring her to do so. It started to feel like this might be their last fling together. The drama finally concluded, and my buddy, Julia, and I walked back to the parking lot together. Julia requested a copy of the video, and I agreed to send it to her. She left, and my buddy hopped into my truck as we headed back home, feeling victorious. I followed through with my promise and sent the video to everyone via Facebook Messenger. Our friends and her family were shocked and embarrassed by the video. Zed ended up moving back in with her parents for a while. Despite the nasty turn of events, I had developed respect for her parents over the years, and I didn't want them to be misled by lies about the situation. I needed them to know the truth about how it all transpired. Julia also emerged from her divorce with nearly everything and was satisfied the outcome. We both felt proud of our revenge with no remorse for what we've done. In our minds, exposing the deceitful actions of our cheating spouses left us feeling vindicated and empowered. What do you think? Was it too too much, or did those cheaters get what they deserved? Share your opinions in the comments below. Dear listener, if you have reached this far, please click on the subscribe button. It will be a great help.